For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
What have we been hearing over the years from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force regarding sexual harassment in the workplace? Also, Herb Black, well, he has been spared jail time. And we have our NewsSpin news of the day. And as usual, a whole lot more occurring on this broadcast between now and 2 o'clock on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on YouTube and our NewsSpin Facebook page. My name is Timothy Poleon. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon with your input via calls at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026. 716-2026. And of course, Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room as we say hello to you watching and listening to the broadcast around the world. What is up with community carnivals in St. Lucia? Now, I'm very much out of tune with those various events. So we have carnival in Marbella Valley, carnival over in Soufrière. We had carnival recently in Grosile. And based on what I've been seeing on social media, reading on social media as well, it appears that those activities a bit disorganized, rife with controversy and confusion. And definitely there needs to be some kind of postmortem following their staging so that next year we could have an almost flawless series of community carnivals. But what is at the heart of the issue? What is at the heart of the problem? Because it appears to be unprecedented. The litany of woes and problems that are plaguing those various events. I imagine that at some point in time there will be a review to ascertain what would be the reason or reasons for those problems. What is happening with regard to the calls for some kind of probe into allegations of sexual harassment in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force? This is worth exploring because you expect that in a law enforcement agency, the example will be set there as far as ensuring that laws are not broken, regulations are adhered to, and you have various policies that would be instituted to ensure that the operations of an institution like this one, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, would not in any way involve in any kind of cover-up as far as various abuses are concerned. Now, when you're dealing with allegations, particularly of a sexual nature in the workplace, and more so involving an institution like the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, you would expect that certain guidelines and procedures would be adhered to. For example, turning to the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, for advice and guidance on such issues. As far as I've been told, the DPP has not been consulted on this matter, which dates back to a few police commissioners. And one certainly would have to ask why the DPP has not been consulted on this very important issue. So in a moment, you'll be hearing some clips, you'll be hearing from some individuals, but let me say good afternoon to Kimani. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence as usual.
You're very welcome.
What's
Timothy.
happening so far in the chat room?
We have someone stating, good afternoon, Tim and fellow NewsSpinners, currently in New Delhi, India, and looking forward to watching a great program on Facebook as usual.
Imagine all the way in New Delhi, India.
And he said they're 9.5 hours ahead of us.
Right.
Yes. Another comment, someone says, permits were issued and then cancelled. Where is Emma Sufre rep to explain? Another comment, someone says it's been going on a long time. It's not now. And another comment, Hilaire and the Red Bunch rushed the community carnival and messed it up in a major way. That's the worst I have seen it in my life. This proves that Hilaire and his bunch don't know jack about carnival.
There needs to be some kind of serious investigation, probe, whatever you want to call it, to determine what has happened to the community, much touted community carnivals. Those have been well received in St. Lucia because you have community carnivals, let's say, in Soufrière. And in my interaction with my friends, I normally say, they like the drive from Castries to Soufrière to participate in the events there and to overnight, spend a weekend there enjoying the carnival. And the same for communities like Dennery, and folks would leave Castries and head on to Gros-Islet. So I don't know why there is all this confusion and the commerce associated with community carnivals. Normally, those are issues that would bedevil the national event. You have National Queen Show and the Calypso Finals, Controversy, the quarterfinals, etc. But not at the community level. To me, there's just there isn't any kind of red tape or that kind of formality that would result in those events being controversial. But this time around, for whatever reason, I don't know, but we really need to get to the bottom of this issue to find out why there's so much controversy surrounding those community carnivals. Any more comments in the chat room?
Someone is asking what happened to Her Black, but that's
Yes.
in the chat room.
Okay, thank you so much. What happened to Her Black? Well, first we heard that out of the 9 Calypsonians who made it to the finals following Sunday's semi-final Calypso competition, Her Black was not on that list. And this was a source of surprise and consternation for many people on the island, those people who are following the carnival. And I think it has to do with the popularity of his song, Referendum song, no referendum song. People normally believe that, and not pundits, but people who just follow the calypso and listen to the calypso on radio and follow it on television and social media, that one song, because of its popularity, because there's a catchy phrase, and because it is trending, would automatically take you to the finals and maybe even win a competition. I think this is just about the most popular calypso for this year. But I don't know much about his second song. I'm yet to hear it or listen to it. And so many people were up in arms because he did not make it to the finals. This is not the first time that Black has not made it to the finals and proved very controversial. Ashanti also has not made it to the finals. Normally you have those quarrels taking place. People believe that this individual should have placed before another individual, another person should have won the crown. This is normal in St. Lucia. But what we got to understand earlier today is that Wally, who made it to the finals, a finalist in this year's Calypso competition, is unavailable. And so next in line would have been Black. After the 9 finalists, the person who came in 10th would be Black, and therefore automatically, if somebody for whatever reason cannot participate in the finals, then the other individual was coming at 10 would replace the individual. So that's what has happened. So Black is now a finalist in this year's Calypso competition, and he spoke with you, Kimani, earlier on. We have just a brief clip of him explaining why he is in the finals this year.
Wally is employed on what his parents called him up, back to work. And he called me up and told me that he wouldn't have the time to do that, the final.
So Wally, in effect, he has been called up to perform on a cruise ship. He's in the employ of a cruise ship, and he was called up for duty there. And that is why he cannot make it as far as his participation in the Calypso finals. I found it a little strange that he would participate in the entire competition, go through the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals, and all of a sudden he gets a call, he cannot perform at the finals, and therefore facilitating Black. This is very controversial, and as always, it begs, the question, why? I mean, why? Is that really the true reason why Wally decided to bow out of the finals of this year's Calypso competition? So, as the Creole folks who say, question.
And someone in the chat room has an answer. Someone is saying that was arranged because of the backlash. Someone says he could have asked for more time off. Regardless, I love the song. I'm happy to see what he will play. How it plays.
Imagine somebody says, jobs for the boys. I don't know where that's coming in there. Job for the boys. Okay. On a serious note, it was 7 years ago. I stumbled upon a clip 7 years ago that Sergeant, I think it was Corporal then, Zachary Hippolyte, in a DBS News World report, was basically saying to women in St. Lucia, if you are harassed on the job, there's a law for this. And you know what you need to do? You need to report it to the police. Now, there's this allegation of sexual harassment within the police force, and nothing is being done about it by the police. Very strange. But that's life in St. Lucia. Irrespective of us changing governments, irrespective of us changing prime ministers, changing minister of this and minister of that, having new police commissioners step in, having new executive of Police Welfare Association, new heads in this department, etc. But it is just more of the same, the culture that we have in this country of not being serious when it comes to addressing certain issues, ensuring that they are not cemented in our system, in our way of life. So 7 years ago, this is what then Corporal Zachary Hippolyte said.
Ladies, we're telling you that if you're working at an establishment and you're being made feel uncomfortable, if your employer, your supervisor has made any form of sexual advances or promises of probably, who knows, a higher pay or another position in the company, but only if you accept the sexual advancement or any form of sexual suggestion, I'm letting you know that it is a crime and you should report it to the police. Ladies, we're telling you that if you're working at an establishment and you're being made feel uncomfortable, if your employer, your supervisor has made any form of sexual advances or promises of probably, who knows, a higher pay or another position in the company, but only if you accept the sexual advancement or any form of sexual suggestion, I'm letting you know that it is a crime and you should report it to the police.
As the African comedian would say, Lord have mercy. Anyway, Lord, this is not laughable. But this, I'm sorry about that, Corporal Zachary Hippolyte. That has nothing to do with you, because as far as I'm told, you are not the one who is facing these allegations. Okay, let's make this very, very clear. But this is what you said, Zachary, 7 years ago. And I wonder if you're in a position to speak on this issue right now, if you're watching NewsSpin, if you would risk calling the broadcast to say something about this. If you made that comment 7 years ago, now this is something that is happening within the ranks of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as far as allegations are concerned. Would you say to those people who are making the allegations within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force that would you issue an apology to them in the first place and say, as most people like to say in St. Lucia, it's unfortunate that this is happening within the ranks of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. When I say this is happening, the fact that allegations are not being investigated. Those are serious allegations. So back to memory lane. March of 2018. At the time, she has just organized a march, a protest march. Controversial protest march. This is what a particular female said. March 2018 press conference.
They have not addressed women's issues. Women's issues is not an issue. We wanted International Women's Day to dress pretty and go and smile. Go to a dinner, go to a retreat. I don't want to go to dinner, I don't want to go to retreat. I want the government of St. Lucia to take care of women's issues. They know what the issues are. They have not addressed women's issues. Women's issues is not an issue. We wanted International Women's Day to dress pretty and go and smile. Go to a dinner, go to a retreat. I don't want to go to dinner, I don't want to go to retreat. I want the government of St. Lucia to take care of women's issues. They know what the issues are.
Passionate Catherine Seeley speaking during a March 2018 press conference. Let me hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Again, the number, 716-2026. And I'll be checking in with Kimani in just a moment, see if I could get another update with regard to some of the comments you were making in the chat room. Somebody says, we can hardly eat and drink, far less pay $3,000-$4,000 to play mass. I strongly believe that all Lucians should boycott this carnival. And that is a WhatsApp message as we are awaiting some more of your messages and, of course, your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. I'll have a reaction to this WhatsApp message in just a moment, but first we have a call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Timothy, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Timothy, I called sometime last week or week before last. I was wondering about all the money that's spent at Mindo Philip Park to repair it just for the opening of jazz, and thinking that the upcoming Calypso shows would have been taking place there. And Timothy, look, Calypso finals going to the Sab. What was all that money spent on Mindo Philip Park for? I will ask again, if it's to take care of some party hack or something, so why was all that money spent? So you mean to tell me we're going to abandon Mindo Philip Park again to remain in a state again? Timothy, remember it was that same party that stopped shows at Mindo Philip Park, right?
Yeah.
So why was all that money spent, Timothy, just for the opening of jazz? So all the people I was talking about, the people of Masha, going to get a little something to do, they're going to get a little sale, they're going to get the business, going to get a little boost. What's about these people now? Why sending back these shows to the sub? And remember what the Ministry of Sports is saying about that. Remember the amount of damage that has caused to that ground, Timothy, after all these trailers and all these things roll into that sub? What happened to the Football Association? All these people that were so vocal, what happened to them now? What is wrong with them? And another traffic headache again when they have shows in the sub, because traffic have to be diverted and all these kind of things. You have to bar all the fence. It's costing extra money. So why was that money spent on Mindo Philip Park just for the opening of jazz, and for Mindo Philip Park to just be back there again to turn into just what it was some years ago, Timothy? I mean, where the vocal one that was talking about, the sub, the this, the that, where are they? Where are the voices now? Everybody just gone to sleep now. Everybody just gone to sleep. Timothy, have a nice day.
You too, sir. You seem to be a lonely voice who is taking issue with the decision by the government to rehabilitate the Mindo Philip Park, and that is to facilitate the opening of jazz earlier this year. But I guess it's a situation where if in unison we tend to accept things, we turn a blind eye to certain issues in our country, primarily because our party is in power, then things of that nature will just continue to happen. Because when you raise your voice against such issues that cause you discomfort, politicians do not take heed. Ruling politicians, governments do not take heed. Far less if you keep quiet. Governments on the whole in St. Lucia, I think what they have done is to ignore any kind of opposition. Any individual who take issue with decisions taken by them, they ignore it, and most times it is at the peril. They suffer the consequences of not listening. They suffer the consequences of ignoring concerns being expressed by the people. And invariably, those are in office will tell you, those are just some, opposition supporters, opposition hacks who are making noise. And they do not see merit in what is being said. But let me turn my attention to the first WhatsApp message I read earlier on. We can hardly eat and drink, far less pay $3,000-$4,000 to play mass. I strongly believe that all Lucians should boycott this carnival. I have a different opinion on this, because if you can afford $3,000 to $4,000 to participate in carnival, it's a democracy. For you, it's an investment that is worth the money. Well, go ahead and make your investment. If you cannot afford to participate in carnival, if you cannot get $3,000 to $4,000, you have no business participating in this event, though it is a national activity. So if you can afford, participate. If you can't afford, well, you certainly should have better things to do with your money. So I'm not in this thing about boycotting carnival. The government, on an annual basis, we organize this cultural showpiece, and no one is being forced to participate in it, whether you are a St. Lucian living overseas or a St. Lucian living in St. Lucia. If you believe the price is too high, then you do not participate in the event. If you believe that it's certainly beyond the reach of certain individuals who have certain jobs in our society, who cannot afford to participate and so on, then you could raise your voice against it. You can call the various programs, take issue with the various MPs, but to call for a boycott, no, I don't think in a democracy we should be calling for a boycott of national events when you're not called upon, you're not forced to participate in them. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
I haven't called you for a long time.
For several years.
Yes.
What's on your mind?
What's on my mind, I hear people are complaining to join a band is too expensive. But I'm appealing to them, if it's too expensive, why join an old mass? It's cheaper. You know that, Timothy?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to buy costume, You have old pants, old bedding. You could wear it, of course. And St. Lucian's only complaining. That's where your money can reach. Old mass. Just join old mass. Timothy. It's really a shame that we are complaining, Timothy, you listening?
You have my undivided attention, sir. I'm listening to you.
Yes. Because I'm telling you, ask AFA. AFA responsible for old mass. You could join the old mass, man. Have an old one, wear old pants. St. Lucian's, that's where your money could reach. Join the old mass and finish it. Have a great day, huh, Timothy?
You too, sir. Thank you so much. Somebody says, and the SAB is unavailable to football and nothing for that, Tim. They all have jobs, so good. The Mini Phillip Park was a job for the boys. Simple. Another comment, is there any gender inequality issues in the Caribbean? And if so, can give examples? What are the present-day women issues that women are facing? Are there any systematic impediments against women in the Caribbean? And we have some more WhatsApp messages. No, he's not a lonely voice, just the only voice who calls. I believe the sports facilities need to remain as such sporting facilities. Government, new and old, need to find other venues for these types of shows and events. Okay, Kimani, what's in the chat room?
Someone says, true caller, join old mass or Juve band, stop the hate. Someone says, I agree with this caller. Mindu Phillip Park repaired for jazz. Why can't the Calypso shows be held there? Is there a different format? Artist on stage performing in both instances? Someone says, as far as I'm concerned, government ministers stay friends regardless. They just put on a good show to rack up public support. Another comment, caller, keep in mind you don't know how much money was spent. You know how much money they said that was spent. Another comment, Tim, I think the July 1st tax increase should be an incentive for all St. Lucians to boycott Carnival. Someone says, Tim, there are alligators in the police force. Another comment, when it comes to the law, I have no preference. I took an oath to uphold the law. I believe that was Mr. Zachary Hippolyte.
Well, a point, I think we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Kim. How are you?
I'm okay, caller.
Good afternoon, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Okay. My problem is that some of the women, some of the younger women, they don't set example for the young children, the little girls. They don't set example. Because sometimes in the workplace, they accept the advances, They don't report it. They accept that. They get higher pay, they get a different position, they like that. They accept that. They keep them off quiet. They don't say anything, they don't report it. That's a problem. And where we are heading is not good. Because they need to set example for younger girls. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Certainly, women need to speak out about on those issues, sorry. And I've been saying this for a while now. We have women in key positions, and you're not there primarily to look after your interest and to rub shoulders with the men and to turn a blind eye to certain things that are happening within our society that are impacting the downtrodden women among us and girls. And definitely, you are not an exception to what is happening in our country. You're not using your position to better the lot of other people, including the women. And so this situation where there is inequality on the job, in the workplace, etc., those will only continue if we have women in key positions who are not using those positions in an effective manner for the benefit of other women. In other words, those people are very, very selfish, and things will always continue to be lopsided in our country. And a lot of women act and say things out of convenience It's telling me that there's allegations of sexual harassment within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Allegations. Communications people within the government and the St. Lucia Labour Party are not calling NewsSpin to issue a statement on those issues. But if it involved an opposition politician, I would be hearing from people like Lisa Jawayer, I'd be hearing from Mondi Lewis, I'd be hearing from other female elected MPs. They all will be coming out and speak on those issues. This individual and this other person, they have no respect for the women of St. Lucia, and the women of St. Lucia, therefore, should send a clear message to them at the polls. Now you hear absolutely nothing from those women in our country. They have gone to bed somewhere. I don't know. They are asleep at the wheel. I think that is the best way to put it. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good day, Timothy, your listeners and your viewers on Facebook and YouTube.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Timothy, my call is to highlight the Labour Party rally. I believe it's on the weekend coming, right?
No, the 30th. No, the 30th of July, not June.
The 30th of July.
July.
Okay. So, Timothy, my concern about that whole rally, because basically what the Prime Minister said is that the party has not celebrated the victory. And after 2 years, I was hoping that the SLP would head down to Micoud South to highlight the list of achievement that they brought to St. Lucia in the mantra that was putting people first. But one thing I want to tell them, and I keep saying it all the time, the Prime Minister, Philip Jetty, I do not want to say he doesn't care. But it's like a mentality I believe he has. He believes he's trying to save the country. It's important. But at what cost? You have to invest to make the country feel better, so you give the middle class a chance to help the lower people that in society. Now, the next thing I want to say to them, when you see you go down there and then you speak, I know what will come out of that. More division for the country, and after 2 years, a Prime Minister has failed to take the country together, even after he said the day he was sworn in that he's a government for the people and not for SLP. Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. Telecom will be hearing from the Prime Minister. Also, I'll go through some of the comments you have made on our Facebook chat room. Regarding our question of the day. What's up with not what's up with our community carnival, but the question that we had is what's happening with regard to our women rights activists. What's happening to those individuals, and where are they now? Words to that effect. So I'll be going through some of the comments that you have provided with regard to that particular question. And of course, we will continue with your calls at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026. At 716-2026. Please stay with the broadcast.
One of the biggest events for St. Lucia's Carnival has returned. Rum Bucket Waterland. More water, more paint, more foam. Sunday, 16th July at Gaiety Grounds from 11 p.m. Small coolers will be allowed, but no ice, no chaser. Must be 18 and older to enter. ID will be checked. Your ticket outlets are Steve's Barbershop and all the Cell outlets. Rum Bucket Waterland. That's when we reach the waterfront. Doing whatever the hell we want. Get ready for more water, more paint, and more foam. Sponsored by KFC, Digicel, and White Oak.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Tired of searching all over and still can't find the auto parts you need? At Fede Auto Parts, we make it easy for you and save you the frustration and running around. From Toyota to Chevy to Daihatsu to those rare truck parts, we've got you covered. And we're quick with special orders with frequent flights from Japan, the US, and the UK. Visit our store or give us a call at 450-7500 or 484-8141. Save time and avoid the line. Fede Auto Parts, Wadawaj. Why stop anywhere else?
Contact Lucelec before trimming or cutting down trees that are near overhead electrical wires. Watch out for power lines before you begin working on a ladder. Be sure that ladders or scaffolds are far enough away so that you and the ends of the tools you're using don't come within 10 feet of power lines. And never use any electrical appliance in wet surrounding outdoors or in the rain.
This message is brought to you by Lucelec, the power of caring.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Glass Supermarket continues to be your family-oriented local supermarket which spares no effort to affordably bring you the world.
Trust Glass.
For quality and friendly service.
Trust Glass.
For daily excellent specials and fantastic prices.
Trust Glass.
For the best quality bread. Check out Glass for your delicious French pastries and meals.
Also, you must know that Glass caters for your special occasion with these quality French pastries and cakes.
Be sure to earn points on your Glass card as we say thank you for your support, St. Lucia. Glass Supermarket, contact number 452-8814.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Listen up, St. Lucia. Get ready for battle. Spiritual warfare. It's phase 2 of Operation Rescue St. Lucia. The venue, the Castries Market Steps. The dates, Wednesday 28th, Thursday 29th, and Friday 30th of June 2023. The time on each day, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. The host, Redemption Ministries. The speaker, God's General, Reverend Benedict Jean-Baptiste, Pastor Ben. Call or WhatsApp him on 717-1707 for more details. Come out and join the ranks at the Castries Market Steps Warfare Rally, Phase 2 of Operation Rescue St. Lucia.
Some of the responses to our NewsSpin Facebook question of the day: where are the women's rights activists? And comment after comment, somebody says she just got back on island and have not been informed about the situation. Another person says dead and buried. Another one says UWP don't have any. Some more of your comments: deaf and blind. And somebody says, Tim, they have conveniently become inactivists. Tim, they have conveniently become inactivists, but there is a special place in hell for all these people, and they know themselves. Good afternoon, this is NewsSpin. You on the air?
Hey, good afternoon, Tim. How you doing?
I'm okay, sir. How about you?
I'm fine,
Mm-hmm. Who's that, Zachary?
Yeah, man.
Zachary Hippolyte. I just made reference to you earlier on. I played a clip. You remember that clip of 7 years ago?
Yeah. Someone sent it. I saw it on Facebook.
You don't sound too excited that I'm raising this issue, you know.
Oh, no, I'm very calm, Tim. When it comes to speaking of the law, Tim, that's something I've always done, and I simply quoted the criminal code.
Okay, so you are now a sergeant in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. At the time you spoke, you were a corporal.
And I was the press officer of the organization at that time.
Yeah. So what say you now to these allegations? I mean, how do you think that they should be tackled?
I don't really have a suggestion as to how they should be tackled, except that of the law. Anybody has a right to make a report, especially if they believe what has happened to them transgresses the law. So just like I said before, I'll say it now because this is what the law says. Whether it's a police officer, a fireman, or somebody working at the city council, anywhere, if you feel as a female or a male that an actions of a supervisor or someone who's above you or wrongs you has made you feel uncomfortable in terms of a sexual nature, you have a right to make a report and for you to seek redress before the courts.
Now, in this particular situation involving the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, those allegations, the PWA is saying that they wrote a letter to the former police commissioner, Pelius, recently resigned, and nothing has been done.
I really cannot comment to have a comment on that on a thing because, as you well said, our president, Mr. Cameron Law, he spoke on that. I think he also gave a press conference. So I believe the welfare within its scope of what they know they can do afterwards, they will do what they have to do.
Now, I don't know if those people are making the allegations, if they made a report to the police. I don't know how it works in this particular case.
I'm neither aware if they've made an official report in terms of, let us say, because the code is clear, let us say in terms of going to the Criminal Investigations Department and making an official report. I'm not aware if that's what that was done or if it's just a matter where they inform the welfare executive. I'm not in a position to answer that.
Okay, sir. But that's you called so that I could ask you a few questions? That's why you called? Or you want to say something else?
No, I don't have nothing. Well, as a matter of fact, all I want to say is, as police officers, we are tasked with upholding the law. Okay, we took an oath to uphold the law. And I know a lot of people like to make the inference or suggestion that the police cannot investigate the police. But how could that be when we have police officers on suspension? We have police officers currently before the courts. How did they get there, Tim? It's through the dedicated work of the officers of the complaint unit and the officers of the investigations department. But I know how it works, Tim. We have this thinking, this because of probably how we're socialized, that birds of a feather, they flock together, so they could never investigate each other. But I want to put on record that the professionalism of our police officers have shown time and time and again that when it comes to investigating our own, it has been done.
Okay, so maybe somebody who's listening to and watching this broadcast right now, a critical thinker would tell you, it's not in every instance the police would be investigating other police officers.
The police complaints unit, what some people don't know, the police complaints unit is also headed by the Police Complaints Commission. And the Police Complaints Commission team are not police officers. They're civilians. And a lot of people don't know that. So there's this assumption that it is just the police, just serving law enforcement officers that is involved in investigations of allegations against the police. But that's not the case.
But how?
The Police Complaints Commission is there.
How active is the Police Complaints Commission?
It's very active, Tim. You cannot have the commission without the complaints unit.
But
you could visit them, Tim.
Yeah, I know. But do you have the legal? Do they have? They don't. They are civilians. They don't have the legal teeth. When they receive a complaint from the public regarding an offense that might have been committed by a law enforcement official, a police officer, they must still take that report to the police, right?
Yeah, but also, Tim, we have to also look at the how would I say, the experience, the professionalism of the people attached to the Police Complaints Commission. I currently, not off the top of my head, cannot say exactly who they are, but I know according to regulations, former magistrates, former this, etc. So it's not people that we just take off the streets that have no experience when it comes to legal affairs and investigations. These are people who are well experienced.
Now, in terms of their efficiency, I've heard people complain about the Police Complaints Commission. In terms of them moving quickly, getting the report, taking it to the police, and then the police acting on those complaints.
Oh, well, I have not heard of such complaints, and I'm sure there will always be complaints, Tim, because, I mean, in terms of, it's all left in the individual and how quickly they want the matter to be resolved. Because if there are lots of complaints, Tim, we have to admit when it comes to resources, there must be a process, there must be an investigation. So sometimes some individuals, and rightly so, will say, hey, this is taking too long. I'm not getting the type of quick service that I need. But that's in the courts, that's everywhere, Tim. But that does not take away, like I said, I will put my head on the line for the officers at the Police Complaints Unit and the Police Complaints Commission, because there is evidence that they are doing what they're supposed to do. Because if that wasn't the case, Tim, we would not have some of our colleagues currently before the courts.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sergeant, for calling the broadcast.
Take care, my brother. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. I think what prompted him to call is the clip that I played earlier on. In case you missed it, we have that clip all lined up. And this is the comment that was made by then Corporal Zachary Hippolyte 7 years ago.
Ladies, we're telling you that if you're working at an establishment and you're being made feel uncomfortable, if your employer, your supervisor has made any form of sexual advances or promises of probably, who knows, a higher pay or another position in the company, but only if you accept the sexual advancement or any form of sexual suggestion, I'm letting you know that it is a crime and you should report it to the police.
All right, then Sergeant Corporal Zachary Hippolyte speaking on this whole sexual harassment in the workplace thing some 7 years ago. And Zachary, thank you so much. Brave of you to call the broadcast and to speak on this controversy. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Again, Tim.
Yes, caller.
Yes, Tim. Do we have a shortage of manpower and policemen in the police force?
We have a shortage of manpower in nearly every institution in St. Lucia. Yes, there's a shortage of manpower in the police force. Yes, caller, there is a shortage of manpower in the police force and resources as well.
Well, I hope the Prime Minister address that situation, very quickly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really thought he was about to ask whether you have a shortage of men in St. Lucia, but then, manpower. We have another call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim.
Good afternoon to you, Rick.
Your chat room hit me today.
Why?
Because I like to be very, very clear in the things I say. And if I say something now and a little later I think I wasn't clear enough, I'll call back to, So that sometimes that causes problems among your chat room. But then again, I don't set out to please your chat room.
Because you can't because you can't please people, Rick.
No, they're fine.
No, I'm just saying generally it will be dangerous to try to please people. That's very difficult. It's very difficult to do that.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have fun in your chat room. They're fine. Tim, there's a difference in nuance and meaning between allegations and accusations. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
We have to be so careful with words. So I just want to be very, very clear. I heard the word allegations being thrown around. Okay. Now, the Prime Minister, I think, also used the word allegations, right?
Yeah.
And most people have been using the word allegations. The subtle but important difference between allegations.
He said, for example, in Kode, we can't live in a world of accusations, can we?
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, he used
so
the word.
The Prime Minister used the word accusation.
Accusations when he was being interviewed last week.
Now that's very interesting.
Yeah, we can't live in a world of accusations. Yeah.
So the Prime Minister has upped it himself, while others are talking allegations. He has used accusation.
And we'll try to get the clip. We'll play it in a moment. But go ahead, Rick.
Yeah. But allegations are claims without proof. That's what allegations are. Claims without proof. Accusations have the proof. Now it remains now to take that proof and whatever to the appropriate tribunal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we have to be just very careful with these words. Words have meanings, and we don't want to be. I've been quoting the Prime Minister's allegation. Well, I don't know what to say. That he's actually used the word accusation.
And if you can be a little patient, let's just we'll play the clip now to hear the Prime Minister. We'll just play the clip. Just remain on the line. We'll play the clip of the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Are you in possession of a letter from the PWA?
I have several letters from several people.
On sexual allegations?
I have several letters from several people. I have several letters from several people.
There was a press conference a while ago, and the PWA president said he wrote to the commissioner on the matter, and you also copied.
I have a letter with accusations. I can't. You see, I'll tell you something. We can't live in a world of accusations, can we?
So you heard, Rick?
Wow. That is even more interesting because the reporter referenced allegations. The reporter referenced allegations and the Prime Minister referenced
accusations. Yeah.
Okay, now you have to be very, very careful to listen to those words when we are going to make comments on them. Otherwise, we can find ourselves embarrassed. Okay. Also, the reporter mentioned a particular correspondence.
Yes.
And the Prime Minister's answer was, I have a lot of letters on my desk. Now, if I'm going to nitpick, because that's what I'm doing, because it's the nitpicking that brings out the meaning. A particular correspondence was mentioned, and he said, I have a lot of letters on my desk. Well, a lot of letters disconnected or letters connected? We don't know.
No, we don't.
Well, I am going to assume he means he has a lot of letters on a lot of things, including the letter of accusations. I'm going to play safe and do that. But I'm surprised that he actually seemed to know the difference between, that's not meant as an insult, because I'm sure most people use the word interchangeably. But I'm very pleasantly surprised to hear the Prime Minister, it seems the Prime Minister knows the difference between an accusation and an allegation, and that the reporter had referenced allegation, but he referenced accusation. That is very, very interesting. An accusation is a claim made with proof. Now, Tim, there are a lot of other aspects of this thing that shows how behind the times we are. You know, Zach Zach seemed to have toned down his enthusiasm. I don't know what the reasons are. I'm a fan of Zach. He's been around a long time. And I've heard him talk before. And
on this occasion, he sounded very subdued.
He sounded, that's the word, very
subdued.
Very subdued. Now, Tim, I have made certain inquiries, and it seems that the police complaints group, unit, whatever you call them, has not received any complaint with regard to the subject under discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why wouldn't that be, Tim?
Could be for a number of reasons. Maybe they fear that nothing will be done. It'll be a waste of time.
Yeah, but you can't decide things that are going to be a waste of time before you do them, you know. And I really wish Cameron would stay more in the picture, because he seems to drop those things and disappear.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk going on since he dropped
his press
that.
conference. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no follow up. Now, the people who were harassed or otherwise abused, etc., we've heard nothing from them either, or their lawyers, or the unit I just mentioned, the complaints unit. Now, in the situation we have now, can a complaint be made to the police commissioner?
My information is that very often, depending on the rank of the individual who has a center of the controversy, it has to go to the police commissioner.
In the particular instance, because it's no secret that people have been named in correspondence, right?
Yes.
It's public. Well, then are you going to make a complaint to the target of the investigators or complainants?
You definitely you can't do that.
Okay. And it's also very interesting that so much fuss was made about the first woman commissioner, etc., right?
A lot of fuss.
And those complaints apparently occurred during her time.
I don't know that it occurred during her time, but it was something that surfaced during her time, but it did not happen during her stewardship.
All right.
I think it happened before, because do not forget that reference was also made to former police commissioner Mr. Milton Daisy.
Okay, but there's reference to her, right?
Yes, reference was made to her, yes.
Made public. Now, you would have thought that the complainants would have had no problems talking to her, another woman, no?
It's safe to assume that they ought not to feel any discomfort about taking their complaint to another woman.
You would. So, Tim, I'm just fingering, unintended. I'm just fingering a number of delicate little things for people to think about, you know. Because there you have a police commissioner, the first time ever, and we expected things to change and whatever, and then we have, boom, question marks over that in this particular instance. We have a number of women talking, but talking only when apparently it's okay to do so. We have female lawyers, we have bar association, we have nobody offering services, nothing at all. Tim, I put it to you, none, and I've said it before, none of these institutions that exist for the edification of the people of the country is functional. None.
Well, they exist in name only.
In name only. And I'm saying to you, that cannot go on. Nature does not allow that to happen. We're getting closer and closer to the bush, and the weeds will overwhelm us. The matter of, for example, other females, males, but especially females. Should a female, let's say in the opposition party, because I don't expect it to happen, although it would be something, if somebody on the government side, a female, somebody like
Emma Hippolyte.
No, not Emma Hippolyte. Jean.
Dr. Je.
What's her name?
Dr. Je. Alison Jean.
Alison Jean. Alison Jean made quite a name for herself recently, but we have subjects like that. We have women being shot in their rooms, nurses being shot outside the hospital. We have so many things that I think her voice might have given some urgency to. The woman is quiet as a mouse. All she's doing is getting new names for the ridiculous names for the prime minister, Moses of the East and whatever, etc. That woman is a public servant, or as a woman. She knows it all, Tim, but we're hearing nothing from her. Her voice meant so much a year or so ago. So what female voice? That doesn't mean the male voices should be in their pants, huh? The male voices should be front. But here's another culture again. The minute anybody near politics enters that picture, the alleged complaints of these police officers takes a dive, and immediately it's politics. So I suppose opposition politicians and even government politicians may well be thinking, if I say anything publicly, it becomes a political football. No?
It's absolutely a political football.
So where do we go? The police force, we all know, has been turned into a political football. The Bar Association, we have every reason to believe they are as bad as the activists because of the number of things they did at a certain time and how quiet they are now. The lawyers have no conscience. So who do we talk to? The media is extremely selective, I mean, at the time of the former minister, everybody was talking. Rightly so. Everybody was talking. The guy's name was on TV, all kinds of stuff. Rightly so, Tim.
Yeah.
You get in trouble. But why not the same thing now? Because this is not supposed to be political.
Well, the agenda, Rick, the agenda has changed. Okay,
but
the agenda has changed.
All, Tim, the supposed complainants to the police welfare, what about them? If they won't stand up for themselves to be counted, they are supposed victims. Do they really expect other people to expose themselves to possible victimization when they have nothing to say to him?
That's very strange.
Is there a good reason why perhaps Laurie, whatever his name is, seems to have gone quiet?
Cameron Law.
Is there a good reason why Zach's voice seems to sound a little subdued? I just don't know where we are going, Jim. It seems everything has broken down. Either it's broken down on the side of one party or the other.
All right, caller. We have to end it, Rick, because we due for a break. Thank you so much as usual. Still to come on the broadcast, you'll be hearing from Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, and we also have our NewsSpin News of the Day. You're watching the broadcast on our NewsSpin Facebook page. We are on YouTube, and you're listening on Power 97.9 FM.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone Salah. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi, pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça, c'était en commission Hod Lucille.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Tired of searching all over and still can't find the auto part you need? At Fede Auto Parts, we make it easy for you and save you the frustration and running around. From Toyota to Chevy to Daihatsu to those rare truck parts, we've got you covered. And we're quick with special orders with frequent flights from Japan, the US, and the UK. Visit our store or give us a call at 450-7500 or 484-8141. Save time and avoid the line. Fede Auto Parts, Wadawaj. Why stop anywhere else?
One of the biggest events for St. Lucia's Carnival has returned. Rum Bucket Waterland. More water, more paint, more foam. Sunday, 16th July at Gaty Grounds from 11 p.m. Small coolers will be allowed, but no ice, no chaser. Must be 18 and older to enter. ID will be checked. Your ticket outlets are Steve's Barbershop and all the sell outlets. Rum Bucket Waterland.
That's when we reach the waterfront. We doing whatever the hell we want.
Get ready for more water, more paint, and more foam. Sponsored by KFC, Digicel, and White Oak.
Glass Supermarket continues to be your family-oriented local supermarket which spares no effort to affordably bring you the world.
Trust Glass.
For quality and friendly service.
Trust Glass.
For daily excellent specials and fantastic prices.
Trust Glass.
For the best quality bread. Check out Glass for your delicious French pastries and meals.
Also, you must know that Glass caters for your special occasion with these quality French pastries and cakes.
Be sure to earn points on your Glass card as we say thank you for your support, St. Lucia. Glass Supermarket, contact number 452-8814.
Plastic Solutions, catering to all your commercial and domestic plastic and paper bag needs. We also manufacture printed and non-printed plastic bags. Located on the cul-de-sac Bexo Highway, Plastic Solutions is an environmentally friendly company because of its high standard plastic recycling process. For orders and inquiries, please call 758-451-5577 or visit us on the cul-de-sac Bexo Highway.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Calls and your WhatsApp messages 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp messages, somebody says there, hi Tim, gun violence stop in VA4. Did the government pay the dons down there? Bravo. And we got attributed to the good work and the prayers by Pastor Ben. And he has his activity that is scheduled for the Castries Market Steps tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, 10 minutes before 6 o'clock until 8 p.m. So, kudos to Pastor Ben, the police, and of course the regional security system personnel who arrived on island earlier this year. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air. I'm sure Pastor Ben will appreciate this plug. Hello.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Oh my God. I never anticipated it would be you, sir. How are you, Pastor Ben?
Well, Timothy, I am really very well.
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes we speak, including politicians, and it's not always easy to deliver.
Yeah.
And so it was good being with you, you know, all the way in March, the 8th of March, when we were on NewsSpin. on
Newsmaker Live, yeah.
And we introduced Operation Rescue St. Lucia. And we had a wonderful stint in GA4. Like I say, there is a low, there's a calm, thanks to the Lord, SSU, the RSS, and Redemption Ministries Operation Rescue team. It's not over till it's all over, so I have to continue. And here we are, tomorrow, God's willing, on the Castries Market Steps. You remember that's where we wanted to start, right?
Yes.
And then we had to transfer to GA4 because of the circumstance. And so I am all geared up. My team is all ready. And a number of people are showing interest, especially, you notice, Timothy, that on this phase, I am not only going to be addressing the matters of principalities and powers and demonic forces and Satanism and these things that drives crimes, but I will be taking special time to help our public. There are a number of people who are depressed. The spirit of depression is in the place, and we ask people, come and exercise their faith with me. If you are depressed, if you're sick. In fact, somebody called me earlier today and said, Pastor Ben, I've not been working for such a while, and depression is on me, and I heard an announcement that you will be at the market steps, so I'll be coming. Another person said to me, I think they will go beyond me, Pastor Ben. I don't know what's going on in my life. So, Timothy, I am really happy that people are going to find an avenue where they could exercise their faith, put their hope in the Lord Jesus, and let us see how it will all work out in the end.
So again, you're on tomorrow evening, Thursday, and on Friday, 10 minutes before 6, right?
You are quite correct. Tomorrow, God willing, we will be on the ground from 5:30. We get started off the ground by 5:45. We have support from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I want to say thanks to them. We have support from the Castries City Council, the Constituency Council, and the Mayor. We want to say thanks to them. I have sent some invitations to the politicians within the Castries Basin. We're talking about Castries North, Castries South, Castries Southeast, Castries Central, and I'm really hoping that we would get some support. In fact, one particular said, Pastor Ben, I am going to make it to be there in solidarity to what is happening. So generally, Timothy, I think we are ready to move. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, God's willing, the rest of the week. And when it's over, we're heading for Soufriere for phase 3.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Pastor Ben.
Have a good one.
All right. Just heard from Pastor Ben, and his Operation Rescue St. Lucia would be kicking off tomorrow evening, just before 6 o'clock on the Castries Market Steps, and continue on Thursday as well as on Friday of this week. Kimani, what's in the chat room?
And someone says, oh, I almost said something that I shouldn't have. When a report is made against a police officer, no matter what rank it is, the responsibility of the head of that department or station receiving that report to cause the commissioner of police to be informed of such report. Someone says, Rick, we need people like you. Please invite them to come out and stand for our country. Money won't save us. Another comment, this one is a bit lengthy. The Complaints Commission is in place, but they depend on the Police Complaints Unit to take reports from civilians and investigate them. Reports are then submitted to them, and the Commission collates the number of reports made, the number dealt with, the number of reports made against the police for harassment, unlawful assaults, etc., and against which rank and place of work. They highlight these matters and present a yearly report with recommendations which will assist the Commissioner of Police to deal with the efficiency of the department. Look at the regularity of reports made against certain officers. Sometimes matters will be referred to the Commissioner for immediate action. Another comment, someone says, what more do you expect from a man of God? PJP is a man of God and his directives are beyond our understanding. He'll once again raise Sweet Helen to the heights of regional and international admiration. This is a government of inclusivity, but again, even if we or our families benefit from his policies, we will find all faults because we are on the opposite side. Another comment, someone says, Rick, I have been thinking the same. I understand if it's one individual who made the accusations. He or she might be afraid to step out of the shadow, but 4 of them are making the same accusations. They can form a block and come out to fight the monster. All of them can't be making false accusations, I hope.
So here's a WhatsApp message. This time, as far as politics is concerned, I'm not biased, but somebody's accusing me of being biased in terms of the various churches. Why being so biased, Tim? I'm not against what you said about Pastor Ben, but what about the Catholic Church and the Adventist Church? So people are taking offense. It's just me quipping. It's just a joke, just a witty remark. Okay, caller, don't take it personal. I will not attribute what is happening there in V4 the peace, which has descended on V4 only to the work of Pastor Ben. A whole host of other individuals, organizations, interest groups, the police, and also several churches. Any more comments, Manning?
Yes, I have a few more. Someone says, Pastor Ben, why must you have police presence when your prayers can stop crime? So during your prayer session, there cannot be crime.
People are having fun at his expense.
Someone says, we want the truth, but we cannot handle the truth. Another comment, we are already in the bush, Rick. We are at the mercies of the snakes, lions, and alligators. Someone says, but if he has a lot of accusatory letters on his desk, why hasn't he acted? Another comment, imagine a police informing other officers that sexual harassment is an offense. You mean they didn't know that? Let's see, Police Complaints Commission, first time hearing this one. Do they really exist? I know Complaints Unit, SMH.
I have a WhatsApp message. As I know it, when a complaint is made against a police officer at the police station, the report must be recorded in the diary, and the matter referred to an investigator would record a statement from the complaint in writing or complainant in writing and signed by the complainant. In the case of a police officer, the matter will be investigated by an officer senior in the rank to the accused officer. This matter will be referred to the ACP crime, who would keep abreast with the investigation and inform the commissioner of the progress. Just informing the commissioner is just for information. The investigator and the ACP crime is responsible for the investigation of the matter. Cameron Law should have advised the complainant of the proper procedure in this matter. A letter to the commissioner is neither here nor there. Any more?
Let's see. Someone says, you need an independent agency investigating the police. Let's see. St. Lucians, this is not a time to celebrate Carnival. At the time after all the Bacchanal, there will not be a tax-free supermarket, Wasco, electricity. Please ask the government to at least try and provide job opportunities to the people first. Someone is requesting, Tim, why can't you invite one minister on the show every week for St. Lucia to ask them questions? Let's see. And earlier, someone said we should also be discussing who conducts investigations into internal police matters, because it cannot be the police investigating police. We need a body or agency independent from LEOs and government agencies. That is the only way for due process. That is about it in the chat room.
Once again, 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. And let's hear from the Prime Minister speaking 6 months ago on sexual harassment in the workplace, particularly the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. At the time, he was in an exchange with members of the RSLPF when he reinforced his zero tolerance for all forms of harassment in the workplace.
But you cannot have an environment where for a woman to advance, she must compromise her body. And I have said to the commissioner, that people have their choices. We are adults. You can't tell an adult what, and that's a person's human rights. An adult has a right to do whatever they want within the confines of their bedroom or the confines of their car, whatever. But no woman should come to a workplace and to know that if she does not follow the dictates of somebody who is higher than her, her job will be compromised. That's not right. It cannot be right. And I've told the commissioner that must stop if it is happening.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre speaking in an exchange with members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force some 6 months ago. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Poleon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Whilst I was listening to your program a few minutes ago, I heard you praise Pastor Ben. You praised the police officers, the regional. So what's about the government of St. Lucia?
They're all in it, you know.
So why didn't you mention the government of St. Lucia?
Thank you, kid. Thank you so much. The government of St. Lucia includes the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And when I criticize the government of St. Lucia, the National Security Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, does not want me to criticize him. So why should I praise him? If you don't want me to criticize you, why should I praise you? If you don't want to take responsibility when things go wrong, when we cannot get our passports, when you are dilly-dallying on matters relating to the reconstruction of the St. Jude Hospital, you're wasting time on the reconstruction of the construction of that road in the north of the island, Rodney Bay project. Why should I praise you for what? When you're supposed to be doing your work. That's what you are elected into office to do. And I think, kid, you're just too young to be getting involved in things of a political nature at that level. I think you should leave that to your mom and your dad. You're just a kid. All right? Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
In the last clip you just played this, regards to the Prime Minister commenting, I think it was 6 months ago?
Yes, about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that is extremely prevalent in our society, in the workplace. It's wrong, very wrong on all levels, but it is prevalent. And I think his wording should have been a little more forceful, to say that it should stop, especially in the police force. You don't just say it should stop, but it should be investigated. Mm-hmm. And whoever is found to be at fault should be prosecuted to the fullest extent. Because the police, allegations like that in the police force, those are the ones who are supposed to prevent those things from happening are actually complicit in it. What does that say?
Who is guarding the guard?
Yes. How does somebody who is working in a school or maybe in some other private enterprise feel if they have to go and make these allegations, these complaints to a police officer or in a place like the police station where these very same things are going on? And as far as we are hearing so far, it's being swept under the rug. Nothing is being done about it. It's been years. How can people feel comfortable about that? That is scary. You understand? And for it to be at the highest level. Remember, there was a time I spoke about the saying, they keep saying it's a few rotten apples, a few rotten apples. You understand? But like I keep saying, if you don't take out the few rotten apples from the barrel, you will end up with a barrel of rotten apples. Because again, they will just be seeing, hey, this guy is doing that. For years he's doing that, and he's not going anywhere. Then I can do it too. He's actually profiting from it, or that person is profiting from it. You understand? Going up in the ranks, they're doing it. They're going up in the ranks. So I might as well do it too. And then and in that case of the forcing the ladies, if they don't accede to the sexual advances, they will not get promoted and stuff like that. How does that work? If you have to end up, imagine you getting promoted over that. The person has that over your head, and then that means incompetent people are being promoted. What about those that want to? They don't mind being promoted in that way. You understand? That in itself puts the whole place in disrepute, and the place cannot function. And I think that's the problem with what we have with what's going on. Understand? People get promoted not on their abilities, but on whatever favors they can do. You know, and even so, imagine, let's just say somebody in a high position is doing that, and then somebody else gets information about that. You open yourself for blackmail.
Yeah.
In this time of text messages and camera phones and all of that, let's just what do you call it? Devil's advocate, or hypothetically speaking, that a commissioner, assistant commissioner, or somebody is caught in that sort of situation, and they have to be investigating or overseeing investigations, and somebody has information, irrefutable information, that is something you are doing. You think he's just going to come and say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, they caught me, and, you know, if you have to make evidence disappear or treat a certain, release a person or something like that, right away your office is compromised. So that has so many different facets to it that it cannot, that has to be investigated. And if, God forbid, that is like, let's just say this investigation does not go right to the end. By the end, I mean, if it is found that he is not guilty, obviously that means the women made false accusations, and they now need to be held accountable. You understand? Mm-hmm. It's not just, oh, nothing came out of it. We should not accept that sort of thing. Either somebody has to be held accountable, either he, because the allegations are true, or the women, because the allegations are false. You understand? And that is what we have to stand for, and that is what we have to demand from this. And not just it needs to stop. This thing has to be resolved with jail time on somebody's side.
Okay, caller. All right. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. And let me see if I have any more of your WhatsApp messages. Tim, I went and watched football. Marsha, Tim, the place is a life hazard. Another comment. I think the responses by the gender minister and the prime minister to the sexual harassment allegations in the police force undermine the government's so-called progress with the passage of the domestic violence legislation. Domestic violence as well as sexual harassment in the workplace are part of a broader societal problem of gender-based violence. The 2022 bill was hailed as the most progressive gender-based violence law in the Caribbean, but it is now clear that this was just an effort to check a box in the list of priorities set out by the international development organizations. Let me see if I have any more. Okay, what's happening? You have some comments in the chat room, Kimani?
Someone says, you are so right, caller. People should be getting promoted by their works and behavior, but instead they get promoted by favors. Another comment, someone says, now, Tim, follow with the clip of him responding to the questions of the harassment allegations, just trying to see something. So I'm guessing they're saying the clip you played earlier with the clip where he's been asked questions by the reporter. Mm-hmm. Someone says, well, PM, here's an opportunity to put your words from 6 months ago into action. Act on the accusations on your desk of sexual harassment in your police force. Another comment, if the commissioner is the accused, who is the higher ranking officer in that case? That's a good question. Someone says, I'm not hearing anything from the Catholic Church. I see those bishops running shoulders, smiling, and drinking champagne with Pip. Let's see. That is about it in the chat room.
Finally, we have our NewsSpin news of the day. NewsSpin news of the day. UN experts and global leaders call for international drug decriminalization on World Drug Day. UN experts and global leaders call for international drug decriminalization on World Drug Day. That's our NewsSpin news of the day, along with our broadcast. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube as well as on the NewsSpin Facebook page and listening on Power 97.9 FM. I'm Timothy Poleon. Be safe and goodbye.